Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully, you all had a good holiday. It was pretty good for myself. We have a NFL game today. We've obviously got more NFL coming up this weekend on Sunday, which we can talk about a little bit as well. We've got some college football today. Actually, we have a lot of college football today. Actually, I think there's 7 or 8 games. And some big name teams as well. Colorado here at noon. Travis Hunter looking to cement his Heisman. We have some other teams as well. The Egg Bowl tonight, which is a fun game. There's some rivalry games tomorrow. Obviously, Ohio State, Michigan is a big one. But we're mostly going to talk NFL here today. If you guys have any questions, go ahead, drop them in. It was a pretty good day for me yesterday, DFS-wise. Had a good kind of main team over on DraftKings. Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen. We had Jonnu Smith. I was calling him Jonnu Gronkowski the last few weeks. This guy just does it every single day. Absolute stud. He came through. Rico Dowdle had a monster game for the Cowboys as well. Pretty chalky day yesterday, though, in NFL. The favorites all won: Cowboys, Lions, Packers. The Lions once again failed to cover on Thanksgiving Day. Dan Campbell is 0-4 against the spread in his 4 Thanksgiving Day games. Not sure. I don't know what's going on with that, really. I have no explanation. I mean, the Lions completely dominated the Bears for the first 30 minutes of that game. Obviously, the Lions had a number of defensive injuries, so that kind of affected things. I didn't understand Aaron Glenn's insistence on staying in man-to-man coverage when you're losing several defensive linemen and corners. It just made no sense to stay in your kind of what you were going into the game doing when you're relying on backups. I thought they should have switched the defense around maybe to help things out, because once those guys started getting hurt, the Bears were just running crossers and just picking them apart. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't really understand that. They escaped with a win. That was some of the worst end of game management I've ever seen in my entire life from the Chicago Bears. And I try not to live in a prisoner of the moment type thing where everything happens. It's the greatest thing ever or the worst. But I mean, that's just inexcusable. Like, again, I don't run an NFL team, and I'm sure there's several factors that play into it. But if I was running the Chicago Bears, Matt Eberflus would be fired like now. It's 11 a.m. the next day. This news would have broke overnight, and I just don't care. Like, it's just inexcusable to run an NFL team and have that happen. It was just so bad. So that's my take on that. But yeah, so the Packers, they looked great, man. I liked the Packers in that game. I also liked the over, and I took the over 47.5. It finished at 47 points. And I knew it was going to happen. As soon as the Dolphins missed that 2-point conversion, I knew that we were going to get screwed. That was unfortunate, but it was, fun day yesterday. Today's game, we have Chiefs and Raiders, and I do have some bets for this game. I'm going to tweet out my full betting card as well, so you guys can check that out later. But in terms of the Raiders-Chiefs game, you can see here in this database we have here on SportWise, Chiefs are one of the biggest advantages of the week. Cowboys, Lions, and Packers were the 3 kind of biggest overall advantage on the week. Kansas City Chiefs, biggest differential. They are the biggest favorite, I think. Let me see. Let me fact check that. They're minus 13.5. Yeah, they're the biggest favorite on the board this weekend. A lot more close spreads this week than last week, it looks like. But for this Chiefs and Raiders game, I think there's a couple ways I'm going to play it. I'm not laying 13.5. I don't think. That's a little bit too much. So I'm interested in parlaying Patrick Mahomes over 1.5 passing touchdowns parlay that. That's minus 174 odds. Parlaying that with something is my favorite look in this game because if you guys know anything narrative-wise, the Chiefs hate the Raiders. This is a big narrative spot because the Raiders were trolling Patrick Mahomes all of training camp with their, Kermit the Frog doll that they had. So yeah, I don't really know why they did that. So I'm expecting Patrick Mahomes to just make it a point to destroy them every single time he plays them moving forward. They've already played once this season. It was just a 7-point win for the Chiefs. He did throw 2 passing touchdowns in that game. However, one went to Travis Kelce, one went to Xavier Worthy. I want to be interested in Xavier Worthy here, but man, it's just like week after week, he finds ways to he will be wide open for a touchdown and just go out of bounds. I don't understand it. So I still think there's value on him because it just takes one touch for him to make an insane play, even though he's been underwhelming. And I mean, his touchdown score odds are pretty decent here, right? Plus 250 anytime, 11-1 for first touchdown. I'm a little bit interested, but Travis Kelce, even though this isn't it's not the prime form of Travis Kelce, he has absolutely destroyed the Raiders for quite some time. I mean, if we look at his last several games here, 10 for 90 and a touchdown, 5 for 44, 6 for 91. He had 4 touchdowns in one game against them a few times ago. There's an 8 for 119, an 8 for 127 and 1, 8 for 108 and 1, 7 for 107 and 1, 12 for 168 and 2. Like these are all within the last 4 years. I mean, he has just really killed this Raiders team. In total in his career, 121 catches for 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns against the Raiders. This guy's got a season's worth of stats against the Raiders. He just absolutely kills them. So I'm interested in Travis Kelce today. Plus 135 for an anytime touchdown, 6-1 for first. If you want to parlay him to score a touchdown with Mahomes over 1.5 passing touchdowns, I think you could do that. That would pay, plus 180-ish. Or if you just want to do kind of, I don't know. I was looking at maybe Mahomes over 1.5. Well, actually, I took this already, but Mahomes over 1.5 passing touchdowns with the Chiefs to win the first half. It's minus 118 on FanDuel. I think that's a pretty good look. But I want to get in on some Mahomes today. If you want to take him 3+ passing touchdowns, I think you could do that and kind of buy into the narrative. But I just don't really want to lay minus 13.5, even though I think the Chiefs will win this game. I also kind of like DeAndre Hopkins under. I wanted to take the under on him, but his total's only at 37.5 receiving yards. So I can't take, I don't want to take an under on that. But he's seen decreased snaps the last few weeks. His reception prop, 3.5. Don't really want to take an under on that either. I don't know. I'm just going to avoid him. And I'm going to focus on Kelce or Xavier Worthy if I'm taking receiving props. I'm looking to avoid DeAndre Hopkins for a bit here. And I'm benching DeAndre Hopkins, and in season long, I'm benching him today. So if you guys have him on your team, I would be looking, unless it's like a dire situation, you don't have anyone else, I would be looking to bench him. Like on a couple of my teams, I have, like Jackson Smith and the Jig Bum obviously playing over him. T. Higgins, I'm playing over him. I would play Khalil Shakir over him just on this team I'm looking at, but I don't know. You guys' teams are dependent, but I am benching DeAndre Hopkins in season long today. Overall, though, that's kind of my take on this game here. I think the Chiefs win. Don't want to lay that big number. I'm interested in Mahomes' passing stuff. They're also getting Pacheco back, but I just don't know how much he's going to play. I like Chiefs Chiefs first drive, player to catch a pass. Xavier Worthy is 2-1. Travis Kelce is 3-1 for 2 catches on the first drive. I might look at something like that. On the Raiders side, they're getting Aiden O'Connell at quarterback today. I don't know. I'm not really interested in anything from the Raiders side, I don't think. They're still banged up at running back, although Alexander Madison's back. They're just going to be missing Zamir White. So overall, I don't know. I think Chiefs win. I want Mahomes over passing touchdowns. Probably parlay it with something. You don't even need to parlay it with something in this game. You could parlay it with a college game, an NBA game, whatever you guys want to do. But that's my favorite prop from this game. You just need to pair it with something because it's so juicy. Looking at the weekend games, though, on Sunday, games that stick out to me are any game featuring an NFC West team. So Jets, Seahawks. Jets are 1.5-point home dogs. Cardinals, Vikings. Cardinals are 3.5-point road dogs. And then we've got the Rams, 2.5-point favorites on the road in New Orleans. San Fran, 6.5-point dogs on the road in Buffalo. We kind of talked about this on stream last week. I said I was interested in taking Seattle stuff. I was high on Seattle coming into the season. I already have a 2-1 ticket on them to make the playoffs. I was interested. They were around, I think they were like 5-1, I swear, to win their division coming into last week, 4-1. They're obviously the favorite to do so now because they beat the Cardinals last week. Actually, they're still not. They're still plus 175 to win the NFC West. I'm a little bit interested in that. I need to think about it a little bit more. This is a tough spot though because so on the road against the Jets season is done. I think that's certain, but Geno Smith much better in domes than he is on, outdoors. We've seen that a number of times this season and in the past. So whenever I look to really back Seattle, it's when they're playing indoors. This is not one of those cases, but hopefully they can get a win there against the Jets. Cardinals, tough spot, at Minnesota. And the Niners are basically done, I think. Like if they lose this game, I don't know how you have much faith in them. So it kind of comes down to the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks for me. And I'm going to lean Seattle, man. I think they have the inside track. That's going to come down to like the last week, though. Other things that stick out, Bengals, Steelers, huge game. Bengals are 2.5 home favorites here. Bengals need this game. I made a TikTok like over a week ago. It was like 2 weeks ago at this point. And I was saying, the Cincinnati Bengals, they're plus 440 to make the playoffs when I made the video. Let's see if that's changed at all. Do they have odds for that? Where is this at? I don't see playoff odds on FanDuel. Let me check DraftKings real quick. Let's take a look here. Futures to make the playoffs. Okay, so Cincinnati right now. They're plus 350. So when I made the video, they were plus 440 to make the playoffs. Now they're plus 350. I still think there's value on that plus 350. So we kind of broke this down. I'm going to be looking for them to beat the Steelers in this game. If we look at their schedule, right, they're going to be favored in all of these games. They're favored this week at home against the Steelers. They're going to be favored over the Cowboys, even though it's on the road. They're going to be favored over the Titans, even though it's on the road. They're going to be favored at home against the Browns. They're going to be favored at home against the Broncos in what will be a close spread. And then they've got the Steelers again in Week 18. I know it's hard to trust this team to win out, but I think they got the bye week at a good time. And like I said, they're going to be favored in all these games the rest of the way. So, maybe not week 18 against the Steelers because it's on the road, but we don't know the circumstance of who will be playing and what. So we can take that out of it. But if they rip off, 5 wins in a row here, that's a tall task. But even if they just beat the Steelers this week, that 350 is going to go down. So I still think there's some value in the Bengals to make the playoffs. I'm willing to buy in. Think they got the bye week at the right time. Hopefully they can regroup on defense and just play. They don't need to be the best defense in the league. They just need to be average defensively, and their offense will do the rest because their offense has been playing great. It's just their defense has been really letting them down. I mean, look at what they've done recently. They gave up 37 to Philly. They gave up 24 to Vegas, but they won that game. They gave up 35 to Baltimore in a loss. They gave up 34 to the Chargers in a loss. So 3 of their last 4 games, they've given up over 30 points, all in losses. They need to regroup a little bit on defense and just win these games, which they're all winnable games down the stretch. So I'm still interested a little bit in the Bengals. That game sticks out to me. I'll be watching that closely. I'll probably be betting Cincinnati in that game in some capacity. Baltimore, Philly. I mean, potential Super Bowl preview there. Not sure. I mean, Philly and Detroit have the best chances from the NFC, and then I'd put the Packers third to make the Super Bowl. Baltimore's in that group of 4 or 5 AFC teams that could get there, but that should be a really good game. 4:25 on Sunday. But yeah. For college football, I'm interested a little bit in Bowling Green over Miami of Ohio. This is a big MAC game today. I like this Bowling Green team a lot. They have the best player on the field, and Harold Fannin Jr. I'm willing to bet on that in a big game, so I'm a little bit interested in them. And I'm a little bit interested in East Carolina as well against Navy. They fired their coach a few games ago. They've been playing great since then. Touchdown pick. Yeah, assuming you're asking for the NFL game today, touchdown pick, I'm still gonna go with Travis Kelce plus 135 anytime. Yeah, I'm buying into that. I don't typically care about historical kind of stuff against teams because so many things change from year to year, but I'm buying into that against the Raiders, especially with the narrative that this team hates the Raiders. Overall, though, I think that about does it. I'll have a full preview up for the NFL game. That'll be out around probably noon. So over on rollinginsights.com on the blog, it's free. You can go access that. I'll have a breakdown of the game posted. I also have multiple articles for the weekend slate out as well later tonight. So those will be getting posted. Lots of content coming. If you guys are watching this, I appreciate all of you. Could you please go subscribe to the Rolling Insights YouTube channel? We are trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. We're currently around 30, so we need 70 more people to go over there. Hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you all. No stream tomorrow since it's the weekend, but I'll be back Monday for Monday through Friday streams every day at 11. We'll have lots to talk about on Monday. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Spend some time with some family and win some bets.